Well, there are a couple of political newcomers running to be Chicago's next mayor, and one of them is a lifelong Chicagoan and small business owner, Liam Stanton. Born and raised in Rogers Park, he announced his candidacy in February, along with his intent to reform City Hall. And Liam Stanton joining me now. I really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, being the mayor of the third largest city in the United States is certainly no easy task, right? So what do you think qualifies you to hold that office?
Yeah, it's a huge job, right? But I think right now the city is ready for something new. I think we've tried a lot of these kind of career politicians and people that are sort of beholden to special interests. I think we're ready for something new. And what I bring is I'm rooted in our neighborhoods. So I grew up in Rogers Park, like you mentioned, youngest of 8. My dad was a police officer. He was a deacon, he was a real community leader. So I bring a little bit of that value, but I also bring experience from outside of politics that I think is really relevant now. A sense of urgency, creativity, the ability to sort of get people to do things and get things done. So I think right now the city needs something new and fresh, and that's what I offer.
Obviously, the city's also facing a continuing, really, fiscal crisis. You talk about shrinking city government to help save money before possibly turning to new revenue. So what specific move would you make to shrink city government?
Yeah, and I think when we talk about shrinking city government, it has to be for a reason. And right now, the reason that we want to shrink things to cut costs is so that we can keep taxes low, but also fund new programs. So I think when we look at the costs we want to cut, we spend millions of dollars on external consultants. We spend millions of dollars on office space that we don't use. We spend millions of dollars not buying things collectively. We buy them in pockets, and all those things add up. So if we do those things, we reform that, we're going to be able to save millions of dollars to not only keep taxes low, but fund new programs. A program that I'm especially excited about is universal childcare. I would love to pilot universal childcare in the city to help families afford to stay in the city.
You need money for that, though.
Exactly.
And
I think some of that savings from those programs can absolutely fund programs like that. So we'd be maniacal about finding those savings.
what about shrinking the number of people on the city's payroll?
I think we need to look at that too. You know, if we look at the size of city council, we've had 50 city council members for about 100 years. And during that time, we had about 1 million more citizens. Do we need that many city council members? That's an area I think we'd look at. We have a redistricting coming up in 2030. I think that should absolutely be part of the conversation.
You want to impose term limits and move municipal elections to November to try to increase voter turnout, which has frankly been pretty abysmal over the last many election cycles overall here, municipal election cycles. That takes city council backing, and arguably alders would push back on that, because if you look at the city council, there have been a lot of career alders, right, who have held that office for decades, literally. So how realistic are those goals?
I think we have to start challenging some of these ways of working. We have to come in with a mindset that we should have common sense in our government. I think moving the elections to November, if someone's going to tell me we're better off having in February, an awful month to leave your house, it's winter.
In Chicago, yes.
It's completely ridiculous. Let's have more people taking part in democracy. Move these to November. I think that is an absolute no-brainer. So I think, you know, once you get these relationships going and common sense, people tend to get on your side.
And quickly, one last question, because we're running out of time, unfortunately. When it comes to public safety, you want to put 600 police officers back on the streets by civilianizing a lot of these desk jobs, but that would arguably mean creating hundreds of more jobs. Again, money an issue, so how do you do that?
Yeah, we have to invest in the short term, and longer term there's going to be huge savings in that. But if we have someone who has the training of a police officer, they should be where they can make the most impact protecting citizens. All
right, I appreciate it. Liam Stanton, there's so much more I'd like to ask you, but you know, this first interview is a quick one. We appreciate you being here. We'd like to have you all back as we get closer to the February election.
Thanks for having me.
So thanks so much for being here. And don't forget, you can watch our full campaign launch interviews with Susana Mendoza, George Cardenas, Lisa Nee, Mike Quigley, and Matthew Brewer on CBSChicago.com. Now, here's a look at what's coming up at 7.